What's up, everybody? Welcome back to West Coast POPCast. It is your boy, the final boss. It has been a good week. Everybody jump in the chat, our usual regulars, if you're there. We got a good episode for you guys, man. It's been a hell of a week for the most inspirational show. We got news and rumors. We have the WWE Draft. We have Trinity making her impact. So much going on. We also have the trial of your Eric, Justice League leader. I'm so excited for that, man. So stay tuned. We got a big episode for you guys. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing, hitting the like button. Really appreciate all the support. We're on our journey to 10K subs. We're on our journey to get monetized. We're out here, been going strong for 3 years now. So really appreciate you all. But this is our wrestling podcast, West Coast POPcast. We talk some pop culture. We talk some wrestling. We cover it all from the indies to the main shows on television. And if you're new again, let's introduce the panel. Going strong this week, we have the made man Zach coming off of another hot Friday night Rampage stream. How you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm here for the trial of Eric. I'm just going to sit back with my popcorn. Folks, hit the comments. Join in on that. I have no idea what the hell that is. And Noob, thanks for joining in. Let's have a good show.
Let's have a good show, man. Really appreciate again you guys jumping in. And of course, we have the defendant himself, the leader of the Justice League, JL Records, coming up another banger with the John Cena clone hero, guitar hero anthem with 100%. But you're on trial today. I got some slander from my boy today. We have the documents in, we have the case built in. Eric, how you doing this week?
I'm mad. Nah, I was sitting in my office in sunny Honolulu, Hawaii, working on my documents, making sure the Justice League Inc. was running smoothly. Next thing I know, this little piss boy intern walks in and gives me some summons papers for some bullshit trial. I am tired of you people treating me like I'm the villain for speaking my truth. So you know what? I'm ready for whatever this trial is. I want to get this over with.
We're going to get straight to it. We're going to get to the facts. So if you guys are in the chat, jump in and let's read Eric the Riot Act for his Impact slander, because Impact's on a high right now and we're going to the moon. Most inspirational, sensational show going. So jump in the chat. We'll get to the trial later on. We're going to read Eric the Riot Act. Let's start the show, though. Weekly recap. Zach, how was Monday Night Raw?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how NXT was, and it doesn't matter how SmackDown was. Whenever you guys want to get into the draft, that's all you need to talk about this week, because everything else was just on TV to fill up time until the draft is done. So not even on Monday Night Raw, but starting on SmackDown next week, that's when everything gets kickstarted again in WWE. Everything else is just kind of put on hold.
Definitely put on hold. Nothing crazy with WWE, man. And again, we're building towards their Puerto Rico show, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, nothing crazy. NXT though, however, we had NXT Spring Breaking. This was a really good show. I enjoyed what I saw from Carmelo Hayes, as he took on Grayson Waller, who I'm not a big fan of, but Grayson he knows how to get the heel. He knows what he's doing. Carmelo gets the victory, of course. And then Braun Breaker renews his rivalry, comes out and spears him through the stage, which is an amazing. And he speared the shit out of Trick Williams, by the way, as well. Zach, did you catch NXT Spring Breaking? That was insane.
That was everything was kind of throwaway. Some of the matches were very like that Mello and Waller match. It was very off because Waller apparently hurt himself, just like there are 8 female wrestlers right now with like torn ACLs in NXT. Yep. So take that for what it is. NXT and some of the call-ups are injured as well. Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. They kept the belt on Indy and she got drafted, which we'll talk about, but it was an okay episode.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that with the draft, how they drafted some of their champions. Very weird stuff there. We also had a debut of this phenom, this Goliath, Obafemi, in a dominant victory, dominant moves, dominant power bombs. So we'll see how he does. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who he came from.
I thought it was like, I don't know, man. Almost someone's coming for you. Watch your spot.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe, hey, knowing WWE, they might put him in a tag team.
Yeah, that's true.
Put him in the main event with Von Wagner. I don't know.
Oh gosh, but that's cruising through WWE. We're gonna hit the draft later on when we get to SmackDown, but it is time for AEW Dynamite. A lot of controversy again. I hate that a lot of the news of AEW these days are coming out of not what's on the product, but stuff that happens outside of it. This I won't really blame him. We'll get to that as well. But Dynamite, we have a huge return debut. This one actually surprised me, Zach, if you saw it. Roderick Strong in AEW.
Roddy getting the biggest pop he's ever gotten and probably will ever get. Well done to AEW for keeping this secret. But like Roderick Strong is like, hey Zach, a really popular West Coast rapper is going to be on tonight. Oh, cool. Who is it? And it's Exhibit. Like I really don't like Roddy's fine, but
okay. We're not going to disrespect the
Messiah,
you're talking.
backbreaker.
Yes, the Messiah, the backbreaker, Marina Shafir's husband, undisputed Roderick, former Ring of Honor talent. If you guys see this guy back in the day in Ring of Honor, man, this dude was incredible. I forget who he did the move on in NXT, but when he ran on the stage to hit that dude with a high knee, one of the craziest moves ever. This dude is impactful. Again, we're not going to get too many mic skills for him. We're not talking about looking for that. But we have a lot of cool matches. Roderick Strong versus Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson's on the table. A lot of cool things we can see here. Roderick Strong versus Swerve.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of good matches. Probably take a lot of L's, but there'll be good matches to watch.
Yeah, and we have now 3/4 of Undisputed Era. We could have had all four, but Bobby went fishing somewhere.
Yeah.
What broke his spirit? What broke his mind, Knock? What haunted house did he lose his shit in? Impact. In the Impact Zone. That's where he lost it and cut that terrible promo that has probably got him like blacklisted from a bunch of wrestling companies.
That's not Impact's fault. He went to Impact to cut a promo to silence. No one popped. No resounding effect. That's not him.
Yeah, let me just bring this up.
Go ahead.
Just for one thing up here, we had another big return this week. Jack Nicholson at the Lakers game. You remember The Shining with Jack? Remember what happened to him when he went into that's what happened to a fish when he went into the Impact Zone.
Listen, not everyone can cut it in Impact Wrestling, all right? When you cross the line, sometimes you don't come back. But when you do cross the line, like AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, you come out stronger.
Damn right. They crossed the line in WWE and never looked back.
Really? Now, how come AJ was on the show 2 years ago?
Dog, once again, if Impact played this episode, we'd be on the same level as them. If they put this on their screen, AJ said, "I ain't coming back to y'all. You disgust me."
Listen, he just wanted a little more money. That's all, man. To take care of his family. That's not Impact.
Impact couldn't do that. Well,
they had to spread the wealth, all right, man. It's not all about one person. This is a team.
All Impact had was some stale bread and some Miracle Whip to spread around to everybody.
Which I think one of the guys we were there with, I think he paid for some of that stuff. So I mean, listen, it's all a team, man. It's a family, brother.
It's a sad family. That's like little orphan Annie's family.
It's not, man, and we got a lot to talk about, man.
They back in the locker room singing "It's a Hard Knock Life" for us.
No, they didn't. They had to redo the lyrics because of copyright reasons. They wouldn't have been able to afford it.
And hey, if you want to talk about theme songs, Impact is some of the best theme songs there is, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Right, the trial of Eric is coming up. AEW, Orange Cassidy became the longest reigning male champion ever? Not the longest reigning. The most title defenses for a male champion, 20 defenses, 200-day reign, defeating Bandito. Solid match. They got more attention for their promo backstage when they both went with Renee Paquette. Again,
that would have been very funny if Bandito wouldn't have followed up with it. It was very good with Orange Cassidy, but then to like double down on the joke, kill the joke. Just from my perspective.
I can get you. I can see them becoming a tag team. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You still there, Doc?
Yeah, I little lag there. I can see them becoming a tag team. Just they have similar personalities. Bandito's obviously to me a little more exciting in the ring. I know All In is the first time I think me and Eric saw him, but again, the one that stole the show for me was the Blackpool Combat Club.
Real quick, Bandito was an All In.
Yeah, you don't remember seeing him? He was in the he stole the main event. It was him. I forget what the teams were, but it was Young Bucks, Bandito, Kota Ibushi, Rey Fenix, and Rey Mysterio.
I thought Bandito couldn't make it, so no, that's a different one. Never mind. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. But
Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, Blackpool Combat Club. I think this is the best they've been. They really bounced back since losing William Regal, and I'm gonna call it right now. How do you join the Blackpool Combat Club?
Kill
You got to
someone.
bleed with them. Konosuke Takeshita bled with them. I think he's going to turn and join the Blackpool Combat Club.
I could see that. Especially since I still think for some reason, Hangman is in this story. So I think he switches and Hangman just like, all right, I'll fill in.
So you think it's going to be Hangman? I think it could be Hangman, but I'm going for a little more Golden Lover, a little more Kota Ibushi. Imagine Ibushi versus Takeshita in AEW.
I'll just right now for news and rumors. He's one of the rumored people that they have.
It'd be very weird to split up Ibushi from Kenny.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
That's like splitting a New Day.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man! And then finally, I do want to talk about TBS title. Finally on TBS, Jade Cargill, Valkyrie, Zach. What were your thoughts on this match? And have they improved at all with the presentation of Jade? We finally have a storyline with her. Is it working?
Can start to work. Having it on once doesn't. I'm not going to give it applause for that, but I like this. This has to lead to a match with Jade, a rematch at Double or Nothing. I don't want to see Statlander just come back and get a title defense. I want something to happen in a build for Jade because we saw way too many squash matches. And like I said on Rampage, this Goldberg-esque thing, when Goldberg did it, it exposed him for being a crappy wrestler. This is exposing TK for being a crappy booker.
Yeah, he's trying to squeeze. I think, again, he's spread too thin. He got too much to fit in the show. And that's been my big problem. Just besides the Jade stuff, it's been my big problem with AEW. They don't let stuff just sit, like let it breathe for a little bit. It's like, all right, Jade just had a big match. That was cut to the backstage promo. Let's cut to this. Let's cut to this. I feel like I'm freaking jumping all over the place. Like, you gotta let things breathe a little bit to show. Like, take your time.
In all honesty, Jade.
He's taking his time with the. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm switching gears, so you go ahead.
I was just gonna say Jade should be on bigger and better things right now. Like a regular booker would have already had her moving on from just a streak. It's TK's failing a lot of people. Jade's one of them.
I was going to say, he is taking his sweet time with his own heart announcement that he did. This is going to be spread over the next 6 years, I do believe, this tournament. This is a very spread out thing. It's like a month or more.
Yeah, this is different. I thought it started around this time and ended at Double or Nothing last year. Now it's starting at Double or Nothing and going all through the summer until what? All in or all out? Or actually a random Dynamite, I think. Some Dynamite in Canada, actually.
That's it.
Long ass tournament.
Yeah. I'm excited for it though, because it seems like we're gonna be getting a lot of different people in there. Like we might be getting New Japan stars, more AAA stars, just other people involved in the tournament.
Right.
So there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
What happened?
I was saying we'll see how it goes.
Besides that, the 4 pillar stuff is going on. I think I called this on one of the last episodes where Sammy Guevara is going to qualify, but eventually going to do a tag team match just to have the other guys qualify. And that's exactly what they're doing. Next week, we're getting a tag team match: MJF, Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin and Jungle Boy.
So many better ways to have done this. So many better ways.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It's just I think it would have been a little better if the other guys can carry promos like MJF. I don't think the other guys are there yet.
I agree.
And then last thing on Dynamite before we get to the main event. Speaking of the main event, the founder of TNA got another victory on Dynamite, Eric. This guy's got more victories than what? He's got more victories this year than John Cena. He's got more victories this year than who else, Eric? Who else? Who's some of your favorites?
AJ Styles.
Hey, he's got more victories than AJ Styles. Jeff Jarrett in 2023 is still winning matches on television, man. Come on.
That's because Tony Khan is a mark who, if he saw them on TV as a child, he has to be their best friend.
Bro, he's the hardest working man in the business right now.
You're absolutely right. And the hardest working man in the business is a mark.
But shout out to Jeff Jarrett, man. Really good stuff there. Zach, do you have anything else to add to Dynamite before we move on?
Just I don't know. More women's segments. That's it. Again, just please more. Having one championship match that didn't last that long. Give us more. Anna Jay was on Rampage. Don't need to talk about it. It was a waste of a show. But Anna Jay still looked green after being in the business this long. I know when she started, she had like 6 matches, but she shouldn't look this green on television yet.
I agree. Some of her matches, like the regular matches, they go here and there with some things a little wonky. But big match Anna, when she gets put in those street fights, she brings it.
Does.
Yep.
Just stuff in between. TK's got her more stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. But besides that, that is it for Dynamite. So I've an announcement to make here for you guys, for everyone in the comment section. We're gonna have not just 1 week trial. We're gonna have a 2-week trial of Eric on Impact. Datilla, if you're there, it's time to jump in because we're about to get into some Impact wrestling, and I'm so excited here. Just a quick rundown of the show last week. We had Jordan Grace take on her rival Masha Slamovich in a heck of a match. We've seen some mommy muscle busters, if you will. We've seen a lot of cool stuff there. We've seen the national treasure Nick Aldis make his return. He's here to stay, man. He's officially signed now. He's back in the Impact Zone. And I think he'll be the next challenger for Steve Maclin after PCO at Under Siege. Now, PCO, this man is... Zach used to watch him in Ring of Honor when he was there. This dude's a madman. I don't know how he's still going, but he has a world title opportunity, man. And he's going to be a good first shot at Steve Maclin, a good first rival. So really excited for that.
That's really cool. They got this big name for Impact. This is a huge ass
Hey man, this guy is a bad man
because Impact is POS. That's cool.
He's a bad man. Another cool thing, we have former Knockouts champion Taylor Wilde, who's the current Knockouts tag team champion, taking on Deonna Purrazzo in the main event. Very solid, hard hitting match. Deonna gets the victory. She gets a lot of Fujiwara arm bars locked in. Tries to go for her Queen's Gambit, gets reversed, but in the end, she gets the victory. And then ABC 1, 2, 3, Chris Bay and Ace Austin retain their titles against the Design. What's his name? Alan Angels takes the pin. So really good stuff. Another strong episode from Impact. Another high-rated episode from Impact. As we get on to the debut of Trinity coming next week. This has been everywhere. Josiah Williams worked on her entrance theme. It's the same presentation. Feel the glow. She actually has a new finisher. So next week, you're going to see on Impact, Trinity puts Kylan King in a bulldog. And she goes for some cool moves. That's all I'm going to say there. I'm not going to spoil it if you guys want to see the match. But she has a new finisher coming next week, man. Very excited.
Impact Wrestling is the biggest manipulator of all time. They see this poor woman just left the best job she ever had, and they say, "Hey, you want to come work for us? We'll take care of you."
That's not true at all. This is why Eric's on. This is why Eric's on trial. We have a few claims here. Eric was blaming Impact's booking for killing off people, but on last week's episode of NXT, they killed off Pretty Deadly. Eric, that's another Impact design, another Impact storyline. Are we cool with that?
Nah. When have I ever said I cared about Rainbow NXT? This NXT era is dead to me. The only reason I don't talk about NXT the way I talk about Impact is because at least NXT has they know if they're gonna be boring, they stay respectfully boring. Impact is straight garbage.
Okay, so that's the first evidence I'm going to bring to the board. Second evidence, Eric, Impact doesn't matter. Then how come Mercedes Moné and CM Punk were in the crowd?
That was not Mercedes. I don't know who that was. She was wearing some kind of Inspector Gadget hiding disguise. I don't know who the hell that was.
I'm glad you said it, because she wasn't there just one night. She was there for 2 nights, and she tweeted it out and posted on Instagram on her story on her page.
I would too if I got caught. I was like, shit, I better save face. They saw me. I might as well admit I was there now. But knock. I got some counter evidence for you. Why is it that I've been saying F you to Impact for years? I've been setting trends. Why is it that now that Mercedes is there, first of all, she steals my moniker. She ain't no CEO. Second of all, she steals my FU style and just walks out of Impact when her business is done. When her friend is done wrestling, she says, I'm done with this carny shit. I'm going back to the real world. And everybody else follows? I try to support Mercedes, but she's over here doing me. Why is she biting off of my apple? My tree does not have enough apples for her.
So this is Eric, man, trying to defend himself. If you guys are just jumping in the chat, Attila, if you're out there, let us know. Eric is on trial for the next 2 weeks for his crimes against Impact Wrestling. If you have any evidence, if you have anything to throw this man under the bus, put it in the chat below. We're gonna sentence Eric to some Impact prison. We're gonna send him to
Trinity?
the Shadow Realm.
What? Isn't it bad enough Trinity's in Impact jail? You know what? Also, Mercedes is a terrible friend. Trinity walked out in support of her, and Mercedes goes on to Japan to be a world champion, and she dumps her friend off at Impact like it's daycare. Literally, hold on to her while I go to Japan.
That is not what happened. And if you guys recall, Impact and New Japan have a strong relationship. We're getting another multiverses. What do you think is going to happen? A big match? Trinity versus Mercedes? The main event? Come on. Now we're having Trinity already in the main event. She's going straight for Deonna Purrazzo. Straight for Deonna Purrazzo. We're going to have Trinity versus Purrazzo versus Slamovich versus, who else we got there? Jordan Grace. There's so many dream matches for Trinity. Feel the glow, baby. Feel the glow.
What I'm hearing is that a former WWE champion will always end up in the spotlight of Impact because Impact is so dim. They walk around in the dark. They need some injection of life.
Impact is everywhere. Zach, if you want to throw anything else in there before I transition to our next piece of evidence brought to us by Attila.
I'm just enjoying this. You guys go ahead.
All right. Zach there, thank you, man. I'm having you chime in for the final verdict once we finish this 2-week trial of Eric on Impact Wrestling. Attila brings up another point. He is still using the logo instead of the new one, the old logo. Eric, you put all this time, you put all this effort into getting the stream right, yet Impact gets treated like the redheaded stepchild.
You want to bring that evidence? Y'all have been saying for weeks I've been using the old logo. This isn't even the old. I modified it. It is an insult to Impact Wrestling. They don't even deserve the real old logo. You want me to deface the new logo? I will deface it with a smile on my face. I will make their logo look like the carny clown garbage it is, because that's what Impact is. Scott D'Amore is the snake oil salesman of this generation, and he has you people rubbing the oil into yourselves, poisoning yourselves, thinking that he's healing you.
And our last 2 pieces of evidence this week, as we're going to bring to Eric, he says he supports women's wrestling. He says he supports women, period. If you supported women, you would support the Impact Knockouts division, the strongest women's division in the world. And lastly, at WrestleMania, if you watch our WrestleMania 2 vlog live on the stream now, you'll see Eric in shock, in tears, as Cody lost to Roman in the main event. Do you know where Cody went after he left WWE to regain himself, to find himself? He went to Impact Wrestling.
Do you know
where Kurt Angle, Drew McIntyre went? They went to Impact Wrestling to refine themselves, to regain themselves, and get better. Everyone goes to Impact Wrestling not to lose themselves, not to die, but to become better and have dream matches and reconnect with the fans. That's what Impact Wrestling is about. That is my closing argument for this week. Eric, if you don't support wrestling, if you don't support Impact Wrestling.
Doc, do you know how
all
fast
your favorites are striving because of Impact Wrestling?
Do you know how fast Cody left Impact Wrestling? That man walked in and walked out. That man actively said, I am done with this indie carny BS. How long was Drew McIntyre? Did Drew McIntyre get all swollen Impact, or did he take the time outside?
McIntyre might have been there for 6 years. He might have been there for 6 years.
Oh, that poor man. He went through hell for 6 years? You people let him suffer for 6. You know what? You say I don't support wrestling. I say you don't support wrestling because if you did, you would have supported McIntyre in WWE. You wouldn't have gotten him fired. You wouldn't have let him go through hell for 6 years wrestling on the indies. That's right. Impact Wrestling is the, I'm not even going to say king of indies because that's an insult to Matt Cardona. It is the jackal, the Joker of indies. You send people there for
is
pain.
a fraud. Matt Cardona couldn't cut it in Impact. He's not even on the show weekly. And I'm glad you brought that up because jobs, cutting people's jobs. Santino Marella was unemployed until Impact said, "Here, we'll cut you a break, kid. We'll give you a shot." You know who else? Sting said, "I would never wrestle for WWE," and he wrestled for Impact for damn near 15 years. And I'll give you another one. I'll give you some more evidence, some more examples. Mickie James, hardcore country. Yes, right. In the prime of her career, she's killing it. You said you like Matt Hardy, right? You were a fan of the Final Deletion and all that broken heartedness. Where did that start, Eric? It started at Impact. I think you were rooting for EC3 back in the day, too. When did that start? It started at Impact.
You know what, Mac? Everything
Eric
starts.
is an undercover fan. Don't let him fool you guys.
A seed has to go underground and then it grows. It grows, it gets taller. And you know what? Every single person you said at some point, they begged and they cried and they said, I want to get out of Impact. Please, Vince, please, Hunter, take me back. Mickie James, as the Impact champion, said, Hunter, I just want one night where I feel like myself again. I'll bring this worthless title if you want. You can bury me. I don't care. I just want one night where I feel like the real Mickie James. And Scott D'Amore, the cuck he is, said, go ahead. Take Mickie for one night.
Oh, man. Well, Mickie did some great stuff. I'll give you that. But let me see here. This is this week's trial. Again, we're going to do a 2-week trial of Eric. We're going to put all the evidence out there. I'm going to put out some posts to gain some even more evidence. We look through our podcast episodes. We're going to find out the truth. And I actually blindsided Eric with this. He didn't know this was going to happen. I've gathered my evidence. I blindsided him. And now we're going to find the final verdict. Final verdict coming soon, man.
Also,
But lastly,
if this man didn't give me a chance to prepare my own defense. You know how much evidence I could have got? You want to talk about Impact Wrestling, Knock? Let's talk about RVD doing porn on Twitch. Let's talk about them killing people on a random basis. Let's talk about them using a 6-sided ring. What is this, dice? Y'all rolling dice in the ring?
The 6-sided ring is what made me watch. It was like, oh, what is this? This is so cool. Different.
Hey, Bob, we really got to get some viewers on Impact. You got any ideas? Hey, yeah, you know that 4-sided ring? I got some extra rope if you want to make it 2-sided.
Listen, Jeff Jarrett is a genius. That's it for this week's trial of Eric. We're going to bring it back next week. Again, I'm going to have some posts for him. Last thing, my last closing argument, Dattila says she's starting to think Eric's hatred of Impact is kayfabe.
My hatred of Impact is... I don't know if there's a next life, Dattila, but I will be reincarnated hating Impact Wrestling.
Oh, man. That is it for this week. Next week we'll rejoin us. We'll revisit this. And we're also getting Trinity next week. I'm very excited. Zach, can you take us into the WWE Draft? I've seen you put a tier list out, which was incredible.
Well, thanks. It's kind of long to do, so we'll see how they did it here. On the draft on Raw's side, Raw drafted Cody Rhodes, Becky Lynch, Imperium, all of them. They may even get additions. Rumor has it there's a couple people, you can probably guess who, in NXT that might get added to it. Matt Riddle, Drew McIntyre, The Miz, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Indy Hartwell. This is all on SmackDown's show. And on SmackDown themselves, the Bloodline just Reigns, Sikoa, and Heyman, Bianca Belair, Street Profits, Edge, Bobby Lashley, the OC, including Machine, and returning AJ Styles. Damage Control, not broken up because I'm sure they want to play off the breakup storyline. Elbow Fire and Isla Dawn, the tag team champions on NXT. And it's not on here, but Indy Hartwell as well, the women's champion on NXT. And what got released on yesterday morning on Not Talking Smack, but whatever the thing is that they have on Saturday mornings, the Viking Raiders on Raw, Dexter Lumis, Candice LeRae, Maximum Male Models, Zoe Stark, JD McDonald's, Apollo Crews, Natalia, Sonia, and Chelsea Green. And going to SmackDown, Hit Row and Just keep rebooting her, Lacey Evans.
Yeah, they should have sent Lacey Evans back to NXT to refine herself again. And at this point in time, NXT needs a little bit more veteran or a little more stuff for the women's division because, like you said earlier, 8 women out with ACL injuries. The latest to that was Sol Ruka, which I thought she had a bright future.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'll say so. Since you brought it up, they're basically blaming the new trainer that they have because they are making especially these new nil people lift heavier weights and then go do all this acrobatic stuff in the ring, which will kind of mess with your muscles. So that's who's getting the blame on this. So they might not be around anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, 1 or 2, fine, that's life. But 8, that's just empirical evidence. Somebody fucked up.
Yeah, the trainer's blaming them too. Like, you need to toughen up, kid.
Right.
And the thing with Sol Ruka, I don't think I've seen this happen in a match. So it had to have happened during training or like off screen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's crazy. Did Randy Orton get drafted, or is he just they didn't put him?
He's not eligible. Neither is Bray Wyatt, who has I guess legit something going on too, like an illness. Alexa Bliss is not eligible, and then a few other people who like Brock and stuff who wouldn't be on there anyways.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like how they're doing the draft. Like you said, like some Saturday show. Who knew they had a Saturday talk show called SmackDown Lowdown? They're doing some stuff on there, and I felt like in the previous draft they had more picks. Like I felt like it was so short. Like Triple H came out and said there would be 50% of the roster on SmackDown, 50% of the roster on Raw, and that's how it was split up the draft. But I felt like that was not 50% at all.
No, the majority is getting drafted on Raw this week. You can see the difference on there too. So it's filling up the 3-hour show.
Yeah.
So that was weird to me.
I think they did that last time. I mean, I'm pretty sure like there was something like Raw had like the first 2 picks. Like they did something weird, so Raw would have the advantage.
They got to see because when on SmackDown, when you seen the rounds, it was just 2 picks per SmackDown and Raw. Like SmackDown 2 picks, Raw 2 picks, and then they moved on to the next round. So I just felt like it was like a little shorter. And then the other thing too, so there's rumors that we're gonna be getting new belts, which I like. The Raw Championship will go back to like being like a women's championship. SmackDown will be like another version of that, and then the tag titles will be like WWE tag title or World tag title, like I was back in the day. No more brand exclusivity, which they desperately need to do. But we also got mixed signaling on SmackDown with Triple H saying that, then Bianca saying she's the new Raw Women's Champion or new SmackDown Women's Champion because she got drafted to SmackDown. What are you guys' thoughts on that in the comments? I'm going to talk to Zach and Eric as well because this is a lot of confusion going on, and I do not want to see another title swap.
That was just the dumbest thing. I don't know how Vince McMahon ever thought that was a good idea to just trade titles. It's so stupid. I'll never forget Xavier Woods and Kofi just joking about that with the Street Profits. Rightfully so.
Or the beef with Becky and Charlotte, like I don't know. Why'd you do a shoot with the belt trades in the middle of the ring? I thought that was entertaining, but not necessary.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then so again, as you guys see on our channel, we do every championship won by certain individuals. And when I'm doing an entry for Charlotte or Becky, I have to do an entry. Oh, she didn't win this match. There's no match. It's just she got handed the belt and they swapped it. Like it's such a weird thing to have to do.
Yeah. I would be more fine with it if when they did the reigns, they didn't call it if we didn't include it as 2 separate reigns. You're like, okay, you're still women's champion. It's just the color of your belt changes. But no, it's a new reign when they switch. So it's BS. It's a free title reign.
Yeah, that's why I want new designs across the board. No more Raw or SmackDown exclusive champions. Just call it a name. Like back in the day when you had the W Championship, the World Championship, they switched brands. It was fine because it wasn't exclusive to the other one.
Yeah. I mean, part of the reason they did that was, Vince wanted the colorful belts for the kids, but I don't think Triple H cares about that anymore. So I think we're finally going back to real title belts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that brings us to the next point with this draft. we had Cody go to Raw, Roman's on SmackDown, World Heavyweight Championship, the new design. I don't know if we got your thoughts on it, Eric, if you like the new belt, but who should be the first winner? It looks like it's going to be either Cody or Seth. And does that count as like a consolation prize if that happens?
Yes. If either of those two get it, it's a consolation prize. I will. If you're going to do this, first of all, the whole point of Cody coming back is he said he wanted the WWE, well, Universal World Title, whatever. But we all know what he meant. Not this new title. If he does this, it's literally just them saying, "Hey, Roman's more profitable. Roman's the guy. But hey, you got this shiny new toy, so build this up for us." And then Seth, if Seth gets it first, I'll still be a little disappointed because I feel like he should also be someone who could beat Roman. But I guess he's more acceptable. He deserves it. But I say surprise us. Give us someone who we like when Finn got the Universal title.
I agree with Eric. It should be someone totally new. Otherwise, it's a consolation prize. And my whole thing was, it could be Montez Ford. You break up the Street Profits and you put Dawkins and Bianca on the same show, and you put Ford on another show. So he's on his own island and he has to kind of start over from scratch. And that's his new story. Is he's not the Street Profits guy anymore. He's his own guy, and he's going for the main title. I don't think he needs to go for a mid card and then jump. I think he's all ready for it. That was my big thing for who could really hold it down in your company and do all the press stuff that his wife's already doing, that Roman's already doing. And it's a surprise and it's a refresh, and it shows that anyone can win it rather than the same old people going for the title.
Yeah, Montez Ford is one I would have loved to see win, but they put him on SmackDown. So maybe down the line. The only thing I wouldn't want to split him and Bianca up just because they're married, the whole schedule thing. But him and Dawkins.
Got to do it.
Apparently, it's okay for Johnny and Candice.
I guess so, man. But never mind.
I'll just say I wouldn't mind if. So, do we know how they're going to crown the champion or when?
Yeah, so May 27th at in Saudi Arabia. That's where the finals are going to be.
Saudi Arabia. I keep forgetting that they still do the Saudi Arabia thing. Every now and then it'll just pop up, and I fucking hate it.
The pay-per-view there was called what was it? King and Queen tournament, something like that. But they changed it recently to Night of Champions. They're going to do the title there.
So, God, I wouldn't hate if Gunther dropped, like, not even lost, just like surrendered the IC title so that he could go on to be. But hang on, so he surrenders it, goes on to be champion, and then if anyone else who, like Chad Gables of Raw or whatever, whoever's on Raw, they can all have a 6-man ladder match to actually have a next IC champion, because I don't want to see Gunther lose. I think he should be up at that next level.
Mm-hmm.
I just need Gunther to beat the Honky Tonk Man's record. Then he can do whatever he wants with the belt.
Oh, that's right. He's got to drop it now. I forgot about that.
I need him to break that record. Gunther's on Raw. Cody's there. They've been talking about a rivalry with them. We're gonna get Gunther versus Cody at some point. A long drawn rivalry. I hate to say it, but I think Cody's winning the world title belt, man. And it's good for him to get a world championship, but it's not the story we wanted.
It's a silver medal. I to this day, Triple H knows damn good and well if it was him against Roman at Mania in that same storyline, he would have taken the W.
Yep. And then the other thing too is there's rumors we're getting new designs for all the belts. What do you do with the WWE Championship, WWE Universal Championship? Do you retire the Universal belt, Eric? Because we can't have Roman's gonna have 2 world championships on SmackDown and what on Raw? You got to unify. You got to end something. You would end the WWE title reign, right? How would you do it?
Universal title. You put it in some wet concrete, like sink it to the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, and never look at it again.
You're gonna end that lineage already.
That lineage is so sad. Like, I give so many people props for trying to make it work, but let's go back through it. Finn, unfortunately injured. Kevin Owens overshadowed by Chris Jericho and Goldberg. Goldberg being Goldberg. Brock Lesnar being Brock Lesnar. Who else
He didn't
after
show
that?
up for work. It was Roman.
Fiend have that one.
That's
I
right.
think Brock, Roman,
Braun.
Roman back to Brock, and then Seth.
Oh yeah. Honestly, Universal title reign is like out of all of those, I guess Seth is the best one. I mean, okay, Tribal Chief, that's good too, but I've never thought that he was the Universal Champion. I've always he's the WWE World Universal whatever champion. So,
But the Universal one though is the one he's had the longest. He's gonna hit 1,000 days with that one too.
I don't even
That's
consider that. Like, I'm not gonna be. I don't consider him Universal Champion anymore. So I would just say, be like, all right, we're ending these titles, and here is the WWE Championship again. Like, just go back to that one lineage.
That's a lot. Zach, what do you think, man?
Get rid of the Universal. It's cursed.
Yeah. Call it a failed experiment. They tried to start a new title in modern day, and it just did not work because Vince does not know how to book.
Yeah, I mean Roman will go down as the most prolific Universal Champion. Like he's the guy. It's just I see the complication now because you can't end it just because Roman has such a historic streak with it, and someone needs to beat him for that belt. But it's weird to have now him. He's gonna walk around with 2 world championships, and someone's gonna walk around with this world title that's pretty much a consolation prize. And that's literally telling the fans, you couldn't beat Roman. Here's this belt. Take it or leave it.
The only way I would have, I'd be anywhere near happy. I wouldn't even still be happy with this. Is Cody would have to beat Roman in a fair one-on-one match, like to prove that my title is just as legitimate as yours. But even then, it's still not Mania. So.
Oh yeah, probably. If they did Survivor Series, like the world champ versus world champ, that's the only way. But again, that's not Mania, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know. The draft continues tomorrow on Raw. Let us know what you guys think and what else is going to shake up. We got a lot of holes to fill here. Where are the Usos going to go after they lost to Sammy and KO? How are they going to? Is the bloodline ending? A lot of questions going on here, man. Zach, have you anything else to add there before we go to news and rumors?
I just want to know really quick, does WWE have like an AM show Tuesday mornings that we need to find out where the rest of the people are going?
They just do the randomest stuff with the post, man. It's kind of disrespectful too, man.
They do.
But no, other than that, I got nothing.
Oh, also, I just want to give a shout out to Apollo Crews. This dude sold his drafting so well. Like he wasn't already on the main roster at one point. He's like he's the number 1 draft pick rookie.
That's the thing. He has a Mania victory. Like this is a dude.
Right.
I just want to say that was really nice though, because none of the NXT people knew that they were getting drafted. I thought that was a very smart thing to do by Triple H and HBK. That was a very cool video to watch. If you haven't yet, watch the reactions because NXT people, no one knew where they were going, if they're going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Then the last thing too, what's up with these free agent stuff? Like, how can you just declare I'm gonna be a free agent? I can go to both shows. Like Omos is a free agent. A few other people. It's kind of weird to me.
It is. It's really weird because I mean the whole point of Heath Slater being a free agent when they first started this was like he wanted a job. Like you want to be on a brand, so why would you want to be a free agent?
Exactly.
I guess they
I
don't
don't
have
know.
kids. Maybe that's what it is.
Must be. But jumping in now to news and rumors. It's been a hell of a week. Obviously, we had CM Punk making his rounds backstage. He was on Monday Night Raw. He was on Impact last night. Hey, NWA is going to NWA is going to Chicago. Maybe he'll be there too.
Maybe. What's up with this dude? I'll say it. I'll say it again. Just go away. I'm tired of him stirring the pot. If he wants to wrestle, guess anyone will fucking sign you. All you have to do is walk up to them and say, I want to wrestle. Otherwise, stop being such a drama queen. Knock you there.
You're
Sorry,
knock
cut
spoons
out
down?
again.
Oh,
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I was hearing Eric twice. There was lagging on me.
Alright.
But I agree too, man. Maybe he's gonna be the one to lead another AEW show. You gotta figure something out here. That's a lot of trust you gotta put into somebody.
Right. Which also, Tony Khan must be like, I don't know if he needs to talk to someone, but like CM Punk walked out on you already, and you're gonna give him a whole show. Like you work more than this, Tony. You don't gotta do this for your man. You gotta give him a whole ass show.
I just don't like the split. Let them come together. Like we need to have like a agreement with CM Punk and Elite. Let them meet together. Don't just do, oh, we're not gonna talk about it. Be professional, figure something out, and move forward. Because if you're not gonna talk about it, it's just gonna be kind of weird for the people backstage, for people watching. Just figure something out, bro. What else happened here? Big week. My Lakers moved on. It's some basketball news. Great stuff there. Trinity debuted for Impact with Mercedes in the crowd. Great stuff, man. Super excited for Impact going forward. AJ Styles made his return. In a disrespectful fashion. They didn't make it a big deal. It needed to be a big deal. AJ's been gone for months. We've all missed him. And now he's back. Make it a big deal. Speaking of other big deals, Seth Rollins on the WWE UK tour just this past week, he got a 15-minute during his entrance. Miz was out there for a match trying to boo them and get them to stop, but it kept going. I think he's the next world champion if it's not Cody, man. This dude is super for it. You need someone to really carry this new belt.
You know, only thing that scares me about Seth is that he's an amazing face when he doesn't have a championship. When he gets it, either he or the booking screws him over.
talk about your guy Corbin on that Paris tour.
Was he going crazy in Paris?
Paris was going crazy for Corbin. He finally got a win after I don't know how long, and they popped big time. People were running from the back up to try to get closer. If you can watch the video, I mean, it's actually pretty remarkable.
That's really weird. Was he doing something good? Is it a new gimmick or something? Or they just Paris?
He just won a match. He just won a match. That's it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Paris is crazy. He's the only American they like.
That's really weird. Okay, it's interesting.
Knock, are you still there?
Wow.
If not, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, we gonna talk about the Paris show.
No, that was it.
Did you guys hear me?
I hear you now.
Yeah.
I think I'm back now. I don't know how much I missed there. Were you guys bring up any other stuff? I had two more things for news and rumors.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last two things. Kevin Knight, the Jet, him and Kushida became the new IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions. Excited for this dude. He's very athletic. Came out of the New Japan LA dojo. So really cool. Keep an eye out for Kevin Knight, the Jet, man. This dude's insane. And then I got some other news. Speaking of New Japan Resurgence is coming up in a few weeks. And I think your boy's going, man. It's here in Long Beach. I think we're out. We're going to get some footage there. I'm very excited about that because we're getting Mercedes, not just one match, but two matches of Mercedes, possibly her versus Will Nightingale for the inaugural New Japan Strong Women's Championship. I think they made this belt specifically for her because when they first announced the IWGP Women's Championship, they said it would be defended in America mostly. But now I think we're getting a new belt for her, for America, and I'm excited.
Okay, that'll be cool.
Yeah. There's still no full card announced. It's just that tournament. You have Ospreay versus Tanahashi. Lance Archer's announced as well. He's getting more shots somewhere else besides AD. He's still begging to come back to AEW. He wants to face Kenny Omega at All In, I believe. But I don't think Tony Khan's picking up the phone. But Lance Archer at New Japan. I think was Zach about to say something.
That pretty much says it. I'm good.
Tony Khan makes a whole new show for CM Punk, but he can't even book Lance Archer.
This man can't get on the show, man. I don't know. But he's on the card. No match announced for him. And also, they did put a poster out. Kenny Omega is going to be there. this has been I think my third time seeing Kenny if he wrestles. No match announced yet for him, but Kenny and Mercedes in the same card. Shit, man, fly an Okada too, man. I'll give him a place to stay. Bring in the Rainmaker. This is about to be a hell of a show.
Oh man.
That's all I have.
That should be doing
All right. While you're here, Knock, can we just get your opinion on the Britt Baker shirt?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot about that. So, did you guys talk about your thoughts already?
No, not yet.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna put this in my background really quick.
So backstage, or last week I think it was Adam Cole, Chris Jericho, Outcast. They beat up Britt Baker. Somehow she got a black eye, but the Outcast put on a shirt and they were walking around with it. Great heel work. I love it. Great idea. Now there's AEW selling that shirt. Before I get to my thoughts, here's the thing with AEW. They do this all the time. When Britt had all those bloody noses, bloody faces, they put it on a shirt. Eddie Kingston walking out all bloody and gushing, put on a shirt. Moxley. You have the Acclaimed, Scissor Me, on a shirt. Scissor Me Please, Scissor Me Daddy, all this stuff. What are some other examples? I'm going off examples. What happened?
I said at least they said please.
Yeah. I'm going for all these examples because Britt was actually responding to a lot of this, and she used these other shirts as examples. Orange Cassidy being put on a shirt. And a lot of the rebuttal from a lot of the fans on the internet saying, who's going to wear a shirt? Why are you supporting domestic violence? What's some other shit they were saying? Like, people outside of the wrestling bubble won't understand what this means. It's a bad look. Me personally, I'm not buying the shirt. I'm not walking around with a shirt like that. It's not for me. But if someone was to buy the shirt and they wanted to wear it, I don't blame them. I mean, is do what you want there. There's a lot of shirts that won't really work outside of the wrestling bubble. But I do see a double standard. I do get it. Trust me, I get some of the discourse because, again, I wouldn't wear the shirt either. I just think it's getting blown out of proportion where now we're seeing on these news outlets saying AEW supports domestic violence, which is not the case at all. I just think it's getting blown out of proportion. Britt's getting a lot of backlash for it. It's not even her to put it. She didn't put the shirt out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's just getting blown way out of proportion. Zach or Eric, you can take it away.
Go ahead, Eric.
So I get it. I get why. I'm gonna try and be as understanding as I can be with this because I'm 100% against being against this shirt. I wouldn't buy this shirt, like Knox said. I wouldn't wear it. Like, there's a lot of wrestling shirts out there that I would never wear. But first of all, this isn't Britt Baker's first time being on a shirt like this. She got busted open, she got a shirt. Becky got busted open, she got a shirt. It's basically becoming a tradition at this point. Anyone who sees this shirt and doesn't understand what it is, and this is something that I hate just in general life, if you see something and you don't understand what it is, you're allowed to look it up. You're allowed to take the second to be like, hey, why is that picture of a woman with a black eye on your shirt? And ask the person. And they will explain to you, oh, she got beat up. She got attacked by kendo sticks, and somehow she magically got a black eye. Now,
what the fuck is a kendo stick?
What they use? Was that a chair or? Oh,
no, you're right.
No, I just got.
I know.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
And then, if for some reason a real domestic abuse person wears this shirt, then you fucking call him out on it. Then cool, he's putting himself out there, and that is a real conversation to have. But anyone who's looking at this shirt and connecting it with domestic abuse, like AEW supporting it, that's a reach that I can't get behind. I think you're hurting the real talk of domestic abuse when you do that.
Zach, what do you think?
This is exactly the same as the busted open shirts from whoever has them. The Becky Lynch one wasn't a WWE shirt. That was I don't know if it was Pro Wrestling Tees or whoever got it, but that was a separate company that made those. And then AEW started doing them because they saw how well an independent company made off of them. So then the Britt one was made. This topic wasn't really brought up when that one was made, so I'm kind of on like I 100% know why people would not wear this shirt and are against it, but I also I think people are reaching and overreacting with it, and there's the whole thing like, all right, well, then you might have to discuss it with someone who doesn't watch wrestling. You can also use this, take a picture of it, and it'll look it up what it is. If you want to find out where to buy someone's shoes or something like that, this is an actual thing that you can use. You can do that and image search it and find out for yourself. So you don't even have to have a discussion. But again, this wasn't brought up when the Bloody Nose one was out. So I'm just kind of like, I think people are overreacting. But again, people's reasoning for not wearing it, I think, is 100% valid. So just chill on your opinions on it, though. I mean, it's a shirt that's not going to be around long. AEW has shirts that last not even 7 days, because by the 7th day, that's when a new shirt comes out after Dynamite airs. So just, FYI.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think
sorry, go ahead.
you got it there. You got it.
I mean, I will, like, this is one of those things just in life where I'm like, I would never produce this and I would never buy it, but I get why they did it, and I guess there's a market for it. I'm not part of that market, but I if you don't know what it is, just talk, just ask.
Yeah. Again, I get not wearing it. I just think like I've seen I think like Fox News and like some other news places are posting about it. There's don't try to connect AEW with domestic violence. That's absurd. We'll see how well the shirt does. I think maybe they might eventually just pull it. I don't know if AEW's ever pulled a shirt, depending on how much this blows up even more. I thought it was over. I thought like the other day when it blew up, I thought that was it. And I've seen it keep growing and growing, which is weird. Like I said, Britt started to comment on it. Soraya broke character a little bit to defend her. So stuff like that. But we'll see how it goes.
Which also, this is the last thing I'll say about this. So it's gotten to Fox News, and I mean, say what you want. I mean, I don't know what side. I think it's very clear Fox News ain't really news. They're literally going to court for this very reason. But if it gets to the point where like big journalistic outlets are talking about it, at some point they have to report, hey, this is a wrestling company selling a shirt and the person has a black eye. Maybe we connect the dots and realize that this is a picture of a person getting beat on the wrestling show. Like, at some point, the dots should have been connected.
It should have. And it brings me to another thing I think I've seen as well. Like, AEW really is under a microscope. The scrutiny of, like, certain things, like this shirt coming out and, like, stuff like that. But you had, what was my boy's name? ACH. Do you guys remember the shirt that they tried to push?
Yeah.
The smile.
Yeah. So shit like that and all this craziness that comes out. WWE is getting sued for racism right now.
That's right, yeah.
And like, and we look over AEW side, it's like, this shirt is like, come on, man.
How much more time do you have, Knox? I also want to talk about that lawsuit real quick.
I got about like 10 more minutes.
Okay.
10, 15. We got time. And then we'll do the Zach Spin event, but we'll keep the talk going. Let us know in the chat what you guys think for sure. But yeah, that's all topic with the t-shirt. We can throw it over to Eric for that topic as well.
I'm sorry, you want to go there now, or you said more to say about the shirt?
If you guys got any more with this shirt topic, if not, we can throw to your topic.
I think we covered it.
Yeah.
All right, that does. You want to lead us into it, then, Eric?
I mean, so did you guys read the script about like what particularly the guy said was racist?
Yeah, it was a whole lot of crazy stuff.
Like,
thank you for bringing up the script, but yeah, I did.
What was his name? Shane Thorne? Was that who it was? The Crocodile Dundee. They were gonna have him chase and hunt down Reggie week after week, putting him in a cage and just beating Reggie. I don't understand where Vince I guess it was like Vince was in charge of everything. It was like a particular writer, I guess. I don't understand where these writers come up with this stuff.
Like, I don't know the full story if it was like Vince with all these ideas or not, but it starts from the top. And like, you have to have people in the room where like, I don't know about that one. Like, just to give an opinion that you can actually like listen to, like, yeah, that's like someone should have told him this in the room. Or this shouldn't have been brought up. This shouldn't have been a thing, first of all. There's like just steps to this. Like, it's just ridiculous. And you have multiple instances of it. And if you look on WWE TV throughout the years, you see this.
Right. Now you're right. It does start at the top. Like, you can tell they might have pitched something like this because they knew this is what Vince would respond to and like. And honestly, reading that script, I am surprised that Vince didn't give it the green light, like just knowing his humor.
Yeah. Like, so you had that. You had this, what Bianca did not want to say about the whole ghetto stuff. You had, not even just in this lawsuit, but you had the ACH search that was supposed to, that they tried to push out. You had the Mansoor stuff, which is insane. Insanity. It reminds me of a storyline from one of these Southern promotions indies that you told me about, Eric, with someone we knew from a previous. Remind me of one of those. What else happened there? And then this one didn't lawsuit either. But another thing I seen was the Kofi getting squashed by Brock was planned the week after he won the belt. So at some point from the week after he won the belt, that Vince didn't wanted to do that.
I give Kofi Kingston a props in the world because I mean, watching that, it killed me. Like I still get angry thinking about that night, but I think I've maybe seen Kofi talk about slightly negative once, and that was like only slightly. That man's professional.
Yeah.
But that was a terrible night.
And Zach, you got anything to add there?
If you look at a writer's room, they usually start at the bottom. That's if there is a writer's room like that, then it's not like, oh, it's tough to explain. There are tier. Well, you guys kind of know from living here. There are like tiers of writers in a writer's room, and depending on the show, who WWE usually hires, the high ups in there are the low ends who got hired from writing for soap operas, and then any other random people that they do. So it's there was a lawsuit against an NBC show in the early 2000s, I think, for the same thing, and it got dismissed because it was either the judge or the jury, I can't remember, but they thought that, well, in a writer's room, creative freedom needs to be out there to just express and bounce ideas off, and if it's not directed at someone, then the lawsuit has no merit. But this one, I do believe that since it's kind of technically the same because it's characters on TV, but you are basically doing it to the person. So I mean,
yeah,
like Reggie, yeah, you can go ahead. You good?
I was gonna say, like, I think that was a great point you brought up. I don't think this will go far because, like you said, like in the other lawsuit, the creative freedoms and like it's characters in the show. That's kind of how Vince sets up his promotion. It's not the person, it's their characters, and that's how you have to give up your name. You have to give up so much stuff. Where I think like he's gonna be fine. And then like someone brought it up with the UFC president Dana White, who slapped his wife on camera and was chilling. The new owner of WWE of Endeavor, Vince is gonna be fine.
Unfortunately, Vince is gonna be fine. He lives in a place where you're rich, you're old, you're white, you're cool, and he's just rich enough that he can get with it.
Amazing how many things that he's gotten past that would have
It's
taken
insane.
any person down. Not even in court. The in court stuff is like 100%. I can't believe that he's still around, but just unreal.
Because I mean,
But
you can just look at WWE television and see the shit he's done. Like not even just the ass kissing, but the that one promo where he sent all the black wrestlers to the back. When he was ECW, if you look at his ECW championship run, that's lawsuits waiting to happen, or just cancel all this type of stuff.
Literally, right before we went live, my Instagram showed me a clip of him calling Sabu a member of the Taliban and saying that we're not in Dallas, we're in Afghanistan.
Jeez.
That's the thing too. You create the mindset of your writer's room. So I mean, you at least at some point, you should have it like a 9/11 conspiracy wrestler happening in like 2018 or whatever this was being pitched is pretty ridiculous, especially if you look at Vince and all the stuff that he came out with after 9/11 and like Proud American and all that. So I mean, he generates stuff like this in the writer's room, and like it feels like you said, someone says this will appeal to Vince, and that's Vince creating that. So it's on him. It starts at the top for creating a writer's room where you don't have bottom feeding ideas like this, because that's what they are. They're not clever, and it's up to, and not even to be woke, but just like in this day and age, how can we be clever in that? No, how can we do I'll just throw it out there. Like the Montez Ford idea I have for the draft. Like, how can we do an actual like I am a wrestler in a wrestling company, and my friends are over here now. How can you do a story about someone in the workplace as a fighter rather than like all these like weird like racist or like even as ridiculous as a Crocodile Dundee, if it was even hunted animals or something like that. How can you like still have that be conversations happening in your writer's room today?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. And like for a dude like Mansoor, like when they first go to Saudi Arabia, he was the guy they were using or pushing literally to connect with that audience. Fine, hometown, get it. He won, I think, a battle royal or something like that. Then he gets brought over,
Mhm.
and for that long period of time, he was not on TV. So I wonder if that's when he got pitched this, and like that's what was going on, and why he wasn't on TV because they wanted him for this, but that didn't get pushed through, which is
That's
absurd.
why,
Like,
yeah, that's why
what?
Ali asked for his release.
Wow. So like again, all the stuff that comes out, it just adds up, and it's that should have never been talked. Insane. I'm glad Mansoor is like I like him with the maximum male models just because like it shows a different personality. It's not stereotypical. It's different,
Yeah.
and I think he's doing the best he can with that. It's just a shame to see what they tried to put on him.
It's just funny how different it is when you see someone who thinks that they're clever doing stuff like this, as opposed to actually doing something clever with race like Tropic Thunder. So just the
Yeah,
mindset of people who think that they are actually smart and clever saying stuff that's actually pretty bad. It's just kind
yeah,
of it's weird. And then the people that surround them that are more like yes men or something like, oh, it's fucking funny. And like it's just that group is very large, whereas like the intellectual side of doing something is it seems to be a lot smaller in writers' rooms.
man. This again, I'm so glad like there's alternatives now. There's options for a lot of these wrestlers. There needs to always be an option. So whether you like, AW, and I know we joke about Impact a lot, but just any other promotion out there, it's good to have places for these other people to get employed and go to. Like just how Mercedes and Trinity were disrespected last year with that whole thing. The whole women's division. Now look what they're doing now. Mercedes is out here killing it. Trinity's about to do her thing. Other wrestlers. I know Mustafa Ali didn't get released. He didn't leave the company, but he when he whatever he did request his release, there would be another option for him if he did have that. So I'm glad there's always options. Man. But yeah, that that's the topic there. That's a lot of stuff we covered there. WWE Draft, Trinity and Impact Wrestling. Check us out for more coverage, man. We got the New Japan coverage coming soon. Hopefully we can just figure that out. More tier lists. I got champions videos in the works, man. I got a lot of champions videos. The women's championship videos. A few other men's one. I'm looking at a Cody one, maybe a Seth Rollins one. Keep an eye out for that. I know Eric is killing it with the 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 Justice League Records music videos. Zach is always live on Friday night with Rampage. Those videos, those Rampage streams are insane. And you don't actually have to watch Rampage to go on a Rampage and party with Zach. You want to talk
Call it
trivia? You want
something
to
else. We'll get better views.
and I'm curious too. If you do watch something else, let us know in Zach's stream. Like if you watch something else while you watch his stream, I'm curious. But yeah, Zach, you got any final words before we hit the main event?
Last thing, number 5 movie. Eric's got the shirt on. Star Wars: Return of the Jedi with 4.6 million. It was very close to being the number 2 movie in the country in 2023. After 40 years, only playing in 475 theaters. If you don't know, an average for a blockbuster is about 30,000 upwards, and normal movie theater is about in the 2,000. So that's pretty good numbers for 475 theaters for a 40-year-old movie.
Yeah, I think. Wow.
You think you go out
Um,
and see it? Or have you already seen it release?
I did
I've seen
not.
the re-release in the theaters in the early 2000s, late 90s when they did it, before they added the extra stuff.
With Hayden
Yeah, I
Christensen?
might. Oh yeah,
Yes.
I might check it out. I'll see. I still haven't watched the Mandalorian season finale.
Okay.
And then Eric, lastly, actually, no, real quick before I throw to Eric, Mario hit 1 billion, 1 billion for Mario. If you're curious where we put it in our rankings, we have a video game adaptations tier list out on the channel now. We'll see where Mario ranks in other video game, movies, TV shows.
Definitely watch it. Check it out.
And then Eric, any final words before we get to this main event of the evening?
I'm just gonna hit the poll of the week real quick. This poll,
The two polls of the
A
week.
good one. Just the good
I
one.
I only saw one. It was the OG poll of the week. This one, I think Zach might post this one. John Cena in a shocking upset. 67% went with John Cena. Only 33% went with John Cena. I can't believe it.
I'm curious though, was it the old picture or new picture of Cena?
The Dr.
Thugonomics,
Thugonomics got the 67%.
Yeah, that's what Cena was in his bag, man. He couldn't miss.
Zach, which one are you voting for? John Cena or John Cena?
Lastly, I'll say to just brought up John Cena before we get to the next poll. I've seen some debates going on Twitter because Jack Harlow called himself the second greatest white rapper behind Eminem. But you know what, man? When I'm doing my look, you think Mac Miller, there's a lot of guys. I think John Cena's up there, man.
Absolutely right. He's up there. That album was straight fire, kids.
John Cena second best behind Eminem?
I mean, Eminem has not gone anywhere near John Cena. He knows he can't handle it.
I think Cena went platinum. Oh, man. You can't see me.
This is both.
He changed the
I
game.
can't knock.
He started rapping. He's the one who started singing his own theme
Hey,
song
we gotta
before
get going
everybody
here.
else.
We gotta move on to the main event.
He taught R-Truth
Not
how
the
to
pre-show.
All right. Let's move it on. Move it on.
R-Truth out for a year, by the way.
rap. What? No, you can't
Damn.
just drop that.
Sorry.
Moving on. Second poll of the week. Eric, hit him up.
And then there's another poll here. What is everyone's thoughts on the design, and who will be the first one to win the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship? 57% say Cody, 11% say Montez, 4% say Sammy, which actually is what I voted for. I would have loved to see Sammy hold this.
Yeah,
and then
He's gonna go pick it up in Saudi.
oh, God, you're right. That's right.
I didn't even think of that when I put him on there.
What
Damn.
a damn shame. And then 28% say other.
Zach's the only one paying attention, man. Those are the polls of the week. We got some more coming out next week. Of course, it's been a great show. Thanks for the support. But it is time for the main event of the evening. Zach, take it away with Promo School.
Today in Promo School Knock, you brought it up. James Gunn wants to bring over his entire Marvel cast from Guardians of the Galaxy and then some over to DC. If you guys can just elevator pitch me I can't call myself that. I don't want to be the third person to steal your moniker. Head of the studio, pitch me what Marvel characters you want to pitch for DC movies. Just give it can be as quick as you want or whatever. I'll pick one of yours. Let us know in the chats if it's Eric's or Knox Marvel characters to DC pitch, which you would rather have. And of course, you can make it hilarious. You can make it spot on because we know like Batista and the Bane rumors are out there. But that is Promo School. Whoever would like to go first.
Eric, you got anything?
You can go first. I'm still thinking.
Well, I was gonna say Bane or Batista as Bane because that just makes sense. I mean, the dude he's jacked. He fits the description. He's a proven actor. I think he'll bring so much to Bane. We got Tom Hardy as Bane a few years ago, which is cool, but it was such a different take on it. The only other Bane we had was in that other Batman movie from the 90s, and it just didn't work. I think Batista will bring the best of both worlds. The physicality, the realness like Tom Hardy brought, but the comic book version as well from the 90s. I think he can bring the both and really collaborate and make a really good Bane. Next up, who's in Guardians of the Galaxy? Chris Pratt. I mean, it just spells itself. Booster Gold. That is literally Booster Gold right there, man. That's the only person I want to see Chris Pratt play. That is it. Zoe Saldana. You can do a lot with Zoe because Zoe's a very talented actor. She's used to the makeup and mocap and all that type of stuff. I think she's probably sick of it after doing Avatar and now Guardians of the Galaxy Avengers. I don't know who you bring her on. Honestly, I don't know who you can do it. Maybe a Talia al Ghul if you reach a little bit, but I'm gonna stick with Chris Pratt as Booster Gold and Batista as Bane.
I'm gonna say James Gunn just walks into this meeting, flip, and he pulls an NXT move. He says, "Guys, today we're gonna flip the script. Because I got this kid Marvel. I didn't get to work with this kid, but I need to work with him now. You guys know this kid Tom Holland? This kid right here is our next Nightwing. He is our Dick Grayson. He is going to be the biggest dick you've ever seen in your life, and with him comes his girl. We can convince him to bring Zendaya over. They love working together. They love playing awkward romance interests. We have her play Starfire, and that's how we start the next Titans. The good Titans. I actually still need to watch Titans on HBO Max. I don't know if it got good, but
don't.
All right, thank you for saving me time. Yeah. But that's how we start our next era of Titans. And then, just for the hell of it, we can get Vin Diesel to play a fucking CGI green monkey if he wants to. He can save money on Beast Boy. He'll just be a monkey the whole time, voiced by Vin Diesel.
I'm gonna give you something controversial here, but who's better than the family man himself, Vin Diesel, to play the new Lex Luthor?
No, no.
Give it to me. No. He'd be better than Jesse Eisenberg.
No.
Vin Diesel is your next Lex Luthor.
Hey, Superman. Think you can outrace me?
He won't have a family. Lex doesn't have a family.
Exactly. It'd be such a turn, such a twist. You won't see it coming. The family man loses his family. Of course, it becomes Lex Luthor.
God,
that just sold me. I think Knock wins because I just want to see. I really want to see him as Lex Luthor, but I want to see him look at the script and be like, "Wow, this is a stretch for me. You can do it, Vin. You can do it." Method act. Someone who doesn't have a family.
Gary Oldman, step aside.
There you go. Let us know who you think should jump over from Marvel to DC and what roles they should play. I really like a start of a Titans. That excites me more than a Justice League movie. And honestly, Chris Pratt is Booster Gold. I love to see it because they're going to be able to swear a little bit more.
Yeah, I take that.
Hey, Bradley Cooper as Green Arrow, maybe? I don't know. But everybody let us know in the chat what you guys think. It's been a great episode, man. Eric, any final words?
Subscribe, hit the bell icon. Come back tomorrow. You'll see our poll of the week. As always, who knows? Maybe we'll do Shane McMahon versus Shane McMahon. We'll see how it goes. But join us as always every week. Thank you all for watching. Also, sorry for everyone in the comments. We had to keep this episode kind of tight, so we didn't get a chance to look in the comments as much this week. But we did see them all, and we appreciate you guys chatting with us.
Okay. Shout out to everybody in chat, man. Really appreciate you. We're going to be strong next week again. Zach, where can they find us?
You can find us as free agents. We will not be on Raw or SmackDown. We'll float around and show up wherever we please. I don't get the free agent thing. It doesn't make sense.
No. Well, with that being said, this is your boys from West Coast Pop. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.